you know one bit of France is actually in South America? And that's not all. France is made up of a series of regions, and most of these are in mainland France, 13 to be exact, including the island of Corsica, just off the southeast coast. But there are 5 more outside the mainland, and these are dotted all over the world. These are the overseas regions. These overseas regions are still governed by France, but do have some self-governance of their own, with some having more than others. Another good example, perhaps more familiar, would be the USA. 2 of its 50 states are located far from its mainland, in Hawaii and Alaska. These work in pretty much the same way. Right, are you ready to head over to a new continent, Beans? Yes? Okay, let's head over to South America to find our first overseas region of France. The largest of all of France's overseas regions is French Guiana. It's a big land, but with a small population. In fact, this population only lives on 5% of the region's landmass. The other 95% is covered in thick, dense tropical rainforest, much like its neighbour of the Amazon. Some of this rainforest has never been touched or visited by man, so if you fancy going somewhere unexplored, then this is the place for you. French Guiana is small but not poor. This is partly due to it still being funded by the French government. It also makes lots of money from the European Space Agency. That's right, they launch rockets from one of its islands. This is due to the region being so close to the equator, which I guess it means it's shorter to fly to space. The other 4 regions dependent on France are situated across the world. Guadeloupe and Martinique in the Caribbean, just above French Guiana, and the islands of Réunion and Mayotte off the eastern coast of Africa. Since they're all part of France, they all actually use the euro as their currency. How crazy is that? It's like being in Europe, but halfway across the world. I'm sure there's a croissant or 2 you can nibble on too. There are also many other parts of the world that France has laid claim to. These are not governed solely by France, but are usually independent, with the exception of any military or foreign matters. As we zoom out, you'll see them all. There's Saint Martin, Saint Barthélemy, Saint Pierre and Miquelon in the Atlantic Ocean, and French Polynesia, New Caledonia and Wallis and Futuna in the Pacific Ocean. The countries in the Atlantic Ocean also share the euro currency. Last but not least, France also co-owned part of Antarctica in what is known as the French Southern and Antarctic Territories. There is no permanent population here and is set up, along with many other world nations, as a place for scientific research. Wow, who knew France was just so big? In fact, it's over 643,801 square kilometres, including all its overseas regions. It probably means that wherever you are, you're probably never that far away from a properly baked baguette. And make sure to check out the rest of our videos on YouTube and listen to our podcast on Spotify for all our latest world adventures. You can also join the World Adventurer Club over on Patreon, where you can get early access to content and free activity packs. So we'll see you next time for another worldly adventure. Psst, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.